Hello, my loyal Dragonites, and welcome to another episode of Into the Dragon Den with me, King of Dragons. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, thank you for tuning in to Into the Dragon Den, a series where I talk about whatever is on my mind. It can be about comic books, movies, TV shows, action figures, you name it, whatever. Today we are going to be touching up on a subject I had talked about in the last episode, which is Daredevil Born Again. So I'm going to come out and say right off the bat, I'm really enjoying the show. I have to say that Disney is actually surprising me. I wasn't expecting them to do as good of a job on this show as they have been doing. We're only 3 episodes in, and I think all 3 episodes have been good. There are some things that I like about the series so far, and for the most part, Charlie Cox, oh my god, he's still the perfect Matt Murdock. Like, he hasn't missed a beat at all, and I absolutely love his portrayal of Matt Murdock and Daredevil. The opening of the show, phenomenal 10 minutes. That was an explosive 10 minutes, and it really did keep me on the edge of my seat, and it was kind of sad to see one of the characters from the Netflix series unfortunately die. I'm not going to give spoilers because it's still a relatively new show, but if you haven't seen Daredevil Born Again, you do get the King of Dragons recommendation. It is a well-written Disney show. For now, I'm going to give it its flowers and say, as of right now, it's doing good. I don't want to get too invested in it still because Disney has this tendency to do good in the opening moments and the first few episodes, and then they kind of trail off into their own devices where it becomes woke, it becomes preachy, and it just becomes unwatchable, and I really don't want to see that out of this series. For now, we're 3 episodes in. I really do enjoy it. I think the characters are all really well written for a Disney show. I must stress that very, very much, that this is a well written Disney show. It kind of feels like a poor man's Netflix Daredevil. And the reason I say that is because there are obvious indicators that this is not the same production team. It's not the same writers. The cinematography is completely wrong compared to the original Netflix series. I did notice that it's kind of like Disneyfied in the way they're approaching the camera angles. Like, they're doing different camera angles that we never saw on the original Daredevil. When they did the fight scenes, they really emphasized distance, and it felt kind of fake because Daredevil and Bullseye were fighting on a rooftop, and it felt fake. I know the actors were actually, the stuntmen were actually doing the movements, but because it was in front of a green screen and the wide angle shot, it felt really fake. The original Netflix series would get in on the action, and you would see the characters' facial reactions, you'd see how they move, and you'd get an intense feeling of it. That's just one thing I noticed about this show. Another thing I noticed is that the dialogue seems kind of weak. Don't get me wrong, for a Disney show it's well written, but in terms of dialogue it kind of feels flat in some areas. This is your standard Disney writing. It's very clear, it's very obvious. Some of the writing is kind of bad. We just gotta see how this goes, because the writing, I know it's good for what it is, but it's not the Netflix caliber writing that we saw in that original series. I do feel like they made it a little too on the nose, where Kingpin is supposed to be Donald Trump. Come on, guys, that's too on the nose. We know what you're going with on that. And Disney doesn't shy away from politics, unfortunately, and yeah, they just have it too on the nose of what they're trying to do here, and I saw right through it the moment they did, and they're really going that route. Okay, fine, we'll see how this goes. I don't like the fact that they're trying to make Vanessa the Kingpin. There's only one Kingpin, and that's Wilson Fisk. I didn't watch Echo, I didn't watch Hawkeye, so I really don't know what happened in that. Apparently this is tied to that because they did make a reference to it in episode 1. But those shows didn't really appeal to me. I just couldn't get into them. But yeah, apparently this is canon to the Hawkeye and Echo series, because Matt and Kingpin do talk about events from that. I am liking the fact that they're trying to keep Matt away from the costume right now. That's a really good way to develop his character. We see more Matt Murdock, and hopefully we see more Daredevil, because that's one reason the original script was thrown out, is we didn't see any Daredevil to like the final episodes. Hopefully they didn't keep that trend and we see more Daredevil, because I really want to see that new suit. And I think my biggest gripe about this new series is that they are straying way too far away from Matt Murdock's Christian heritage and what that means to him as a character. They didn't even have a funeral for the character that was killed off in episode 1. For half the series, anytime Matt Murdock needed words of guidance, he would go to a church. We don't see that in this show, and that kind of sucks that they're taking that away from Matt Murdock, because his roots in Christianity are part of his character, and it sucks that they stripped that away from him. And I know that there's going to be some people saying they're doing that because they don't want to offend people and they want to try to distance religion. Miss Marvel's whole Muslim religion was part of her character, and they kept that in the series. Why don't they keep that with Daredevil? It's an iconic thing about his character. He's Catholic. This character is torn between his beliefs and his duty to do what's right, and you don't really see that here. I think the biggest time you can see that happen is in episode 3, where Matt Murdock is sitting in a courtroom alone, and I feel like that scene would have been more powerful if he was sitting at a church, because that's what he did. He went to the church, he sat down to find his peace. Why are you not including that in a Daredevil show? That is, it really boggles the mind on why they don't include that. That is part of Daredevil. That is part of his character. If you take that away, you take away part of what makes the character so memorable and so iconic. It's just one of those things that it's annoying me that Daredevil doesn't get to have his religion, but we get other religions with other characters, and that's perfectly fine, but Catholic and Christianity is a no-go. I mean, it's part of his character, it should stay part of his character. And yeah, they did kind of touch on it in episode 1, but we don't see any of it. That's completely erased, and it's just one of those things that Disney does because they don't want to offend a certain group of people, and it was never offensive. It was just who the character was and how that helped him find his morality. But other than that, it's thumbs up for me. Daredevil Born Again episodes 1, 2, and 3 are all good. I thought episode 3 had a very tense and emotional court scene when they were giving the verdict. I was like at the edge of my seat because you got invested in the characters, and that's something I do enjoy, is that they made us care about White Tiger. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end my discussion on Daredevil Born Again. I really did enjoy it, and hopefully Disney does not ruin this and make it just do their Disney stuff and make it woke, make it too political, where it's like, oh, okay, this is unwatchable now. I really do want to enjoy this series, and we're only 3 episodes in. It got me hooked. I'm really liking it, so hopefully moving forward Disney keeps this momentum and I come back for next week's episode, because it's not going to take much for me to say, okay, turn off, I'm not coming back to this. Let's keep the momentum rolling. But anyway, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on Daredevil Born Again. Are you guys liking it? Are you hating it? Is there something more you want to see in this series? Because I know there's stuff I want to see, but we're going to see how that plays out. If you want to see more of my review on Daredevil Born Again, just let me know down in the comments. I'm enjoying the show and I enjoy talking about it. If you want to see me do episode breakdowns, I'll more than be happy to do that. Because like I said, I'm enjoying the show. I want to talk about it. And the Dragon Den is the place where I can come and just speak my mind. So anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap up this episode of Into the Dragon Den, where we were talking about Daredevil Born Again. If you made it to the end of this episode, type Kingpin in the comments so I know that you came this far. As always, if you're liking this, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, check out all my other episodes of Into the Dragon Den, as well as all my other unboxings, action figure reviews, and more discussions that we'll be having in the future. So with that being said, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Take care, redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you in the next episode.